Hello everybody, my name is Taylor and welcome back to Tab, and today we're discussing my unpopular opinions. So we're finally here in 2021, it's a brand new year, so I'm going to be starting off the year with complaining. Alright, first off, we're all a bit too obsessed with our iPhones. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of like minimalist YouTubers lately, and there's been a trend of like switching your iPhone to like a flip phone, and like
Now I think I want to do it.
but, you know, I've been watching a lot of videos about this lately, and it is really true. I mean, you know, we spend such an excessive amount of time on our phones, and it's not even just the time being spent, but we are so reliant that it's like scary. I mean, it's not even that scary, it's more just like sad, because there was once a time where we functioned without them. The good old days of 2006. Like, I know it's a little bit cringy to say, like, our society is like too dependent on phones, but the reality of it is that, like, you know, it's almost hard to like see how you navigate through life without a phone in like the current age.
In 2006, like, you know, you would have an iPod, but you would like still have to go to like Target and buy like the Avril Lavigne CD. And then you have to put it in your laptop, convert it to an MP3 file, and then put it on your iPod.
Now I just like go on my phone and I just like you know, press save, and I've got the new like Ariana Grande and like Justin Bieber album right there, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's obviously a lot of benefits to having a phone, but you know, it's a little weird to think that even just 10-15 years ago, so much was different just because, you know, phones weren't as like big. Speaking of phones and my like 8-hour a day screen time, I don't think it's that bad. I feel like, no, that's too intense. We've got to discuss social media. It's really bad for the kids' health now, you know? Guys, social media does not reflect the real world. Look, I understand that like now a lot of us, you know, especially with like lockdown and everything, you know, your whole world is social media. Like all you're doing is just scrolling. I mean, like this is definitely more of like a younger person thing. Like it's a teen issue. But like, you know, we are out here really thinking that an Instagram feed is real life. I mean, don't get me wrong, I obviously love social media. Literally, I'm making a YouTube video right now. I love posting a cute pic for the gram and getting validated for it. But I think that we're taking it a little bit too seriously, and we just need to, you know, have a light-hearted approach on it. Because if we don't, you know, these like social media platforms can actually become very toxic, especially for somebody that's really young and impressionable. And especially with like how quick social media moves. You know, if you're just sitting at home, you know, in the lockdown, just scrolling through Instagram all day, you know, there's always like trends coming and going, and it can seem like so much has happened, but you step out into the real world and everything's exactly the same. Like, look, some of it is like really just little stupid stuff. Like I saw this tweet, right? And it was somebody saying like, who even wears skinny jeans anymore? They're so cancelled. And then someone quote tweeted it saying, how can you cancel a piece of clothing? But like the reality of it is like, you know, maybe these like, you know, 15-year-old old kids that are way trendier than I'll ever be, you know, maybe they're tweeting that, maybe that's what their life looks like. Go out into the real world.
Everyone is still wearing skinny jeans.
People still dress like it's 2009 because that's the way the real world is. I mean, obviously that's something really little and silly, but like it can become serious. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just want to have an escape from the real world, and social media can provide that. But again, when it gets to a certain extent, it can be a bit... I mean, that's just all ties into like the image you're putting out on social media. It's literally social media, like you're putting out what you want the world to see you as, you know what I mean? Look at my channel, like look at what are people meant to see me as? I literally like played with my grandma's arms for TikTok, and then I posted that video, I deleted it like straight away because it was really weird. See, look, I need to take my own advice. Look at the image I'm putting out of myself. But again, like social media, again, it doesn't represent the real world or real people either. Oh wait, that brings me on to another idea. People talking about photoshopping, like when they like Photoshop their Instagram photos. I think one of my friends brought this up and I was talking to them not long ago, but like people photoshopping their Instagram photos. Another unpopular opinion, if like your favorite Twitch streamer just posted a new Instagram photo and he just full on Photoshop like rippling abs onto himself, I mean honestly, I don't care if they Photoshop their photo or not. Like I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, look, I understand like for like, you know, a person with like a big following, if they have like a very like young and like impressionable audience, that photoshopping pictures of themselves might give like a young and impressionable person a false reality of like what people are meant to look like. But I think for the most part, when like people Photoshop their like selfies or whatever, it more comes from like their own insecurity, and that's like what they're projecting. I don't think, you know, they're intentionally trying to hurt anybody, so I don't think like they're wrong for that. I mean, look, technically it is like an inauthentic image of the person, which is probably why I wouldn't do it myself, but also because I'm utterly gorgeous, like I don't need to Photoshop myself. Also, I have like 3 Instagram followers, so it does not matter. By the way, follow me on Instagram. I need validation. I need to take my own advice. This is all stuff that I need to be telling myself. That's why I'm making this video. But like, look, if somebody wants to Photoshop their picture, you know, oh well. Again, like, I understand that it can give people like a false sense of reality, and it is like a little bit inauthentic. But again, that's like their own insecurities being projected, and that's something they need to work on within themselves. And I mean, look, even if, you know, somebody finds out that their favorite Instagram model's photo was photoshopped and they don't actually look as good as they do in real life than they do online, I mean, I don't think that's gonna make anybody any less insecure, because they're still comparing themselves to others. And
like, again, it can be dangerous if like the person's like, you know, 8.
And I think that everybody's just meant to have abs. Oh my god, that's me. When I was like 8 years old and I had my boy brats, I'm like, oh my god, crap, like I need to have abs by the age of 16 or else I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yo, look, all this is my own advice I need to get. Oh, I shouldn't have done this video.
Oh no, this one's gonna be really problematic, this one. I'm about to get cancelled.
With my like 7 subscribers. Okay, so now like being like alternative and like different is like really trendy now, you know. We've sort of stepped away from like the I'm so basic LOL era. But like when people are like, oh yeah, I'm on alt TikTok, I sort of can't help but laugh at that term, like alt TikTok, really? If I can be honest, it gives me like I'm not like other girls vibes. You know what I'm talking about. Look, and I know people are like, oh, the I'm not like other girls trend is over, like it's like cringy now to say. But I feel like this whole like, oh, I'm old, I'm different is sort of just the same thing, but like not explicitly saying. And there's a sense of entitlement with it, I really think. Look, before you cancel me, this is for me, because I think I'm this. I think because I'm so edgy and I'm so different that I'm entitled and better than everybody else. And when people are like,
oh yeah, I'm an old TikTok,
there is a sense of entitlement.
I know you think the same thing.
I think it is also very important to mention that, like, you know, alt is an actual subculture that has existed for decades upon decades, you know, long before the days of social media. But, you know, this whole wave of, like, you know, alt TikTok and alt this and alt that doesn't actually have to, like, anything to do with, like, what alt originally means or, you know, comes from. Like, it's completely different. If you're not basic, if you're genuinely not like the other girls at school, obviously, that's fine. Maybe you are basic. Maybe you like to hop on trends. That's okay. But nobody is better than anybody else for, you know, liking something in particular or having a certain style. Oh, that brings me on. I wrote something about aesthetics. Speaking of, like, alt and being an alt aesthetic, this is an issue that I genuinely don't think affects anybody over the age of 18, but I feel like, you know, teenagers right now are so obsessed with, like, aesthetics. There's, like, a new aesthetic every week. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be an e-boy this week. I mean, look, if people want to change what they dress like or what, like, you know, style they're into, that's fine. Again, this is like sort of ties into like the dangers of social media, and just this is more like for like young and impressionable people. When there is like a new trend or like a new aesthetic like every month and you're almost forcing that upon yourself, it can become quite overwhelming. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, you know, I have a friend who I've literally known for years. They always have this like really cool like alternative aesthetic, and I'm saying that in like the least ironic way possible. But you know, that's how they found themselves, and that's how we've always known them, and like that's like who they are. And like, you look, that's what's really cool, you know, because if everybody was exactly the same, you know, it would be pretty boring. But, you know, with like social media trends coming and going, when there is something new that you have to be every month, you know, it can become quite tiring. And I'm just saying, you know, sometimes we just need to have a human aesthetic, you know, because most people just are like normal aesthetic, you know? Is that a thing? Not everybody's life needs to look like an Instagram reel, because in the reality, Instagram isn't real. It's just for cute pics that look cute, and that's it. Just don't ever feel pressured to try be trendy, because in the end, it's the internet.
Trends leave after 2 weeks.
Oh, now we're talking about like aesthetics and stuff.
Why have I said the word aesthetic so much? I hate it.
You know, maybe I'm just not the most fashion forward. Maybe I'm just stuck in 2015. But I do not understand the baggy jeans trend of 2020. Like, it doesn't matter who's wearing it. When your jeans are covering your shoes, like, what if you trip? It's same as like crop tops, you know? Maybe it's because I'm a guy and I just
don't understand.
But anyway, that doesn't even matter, you know? Whether it's a guy or a girl or whoever wearing a crop top. Why? It's so expensive. Like, is your belly button not cold? Oh, I've gone about music.
This is for Steen Twitter.
This one I'm triggered with. So I feel like in popular mainstream music, like these past few years, there's been a resurgence of like R&B, but I don't even know what R&B they're talking about. For example, right, there was this big like drama like a couple weeks ago when the Grammy 2021 nominations came out.
Look, I love Justin Bieber, right?
But he got nominated for Best Pop Album, and he was complaining that his album was R&B and not pop. Justin Bieber, I love you, but
it wasn't R&B.
And this takes me to my next unpopular opinion. You can't put a trap beat over a pop song and call it R&B.
R&B.
As a genre, has come so far. It's literally one of the first genres, if not like the first genre that helped influence a lot of what we hear today. It has come too far to not just be like a trap beat and that's R&B. In fact, what actually makes me really angry about this, because you know, there's so many just trap songs that are labeled as R&B, but like trap has nothing to do with R&B in the first place, so it makes no sense.
R&B for rhythm and blues.
When back in the blues days did they play trap?
Justin Bieber needs to stop complaining because The Weeknd didn't even get nominated for anything.
Sorry, Justin, if you're watching this. Justin, I love you. I downloaded Boyfriend on iTunes when I was in second grade in 2012. Oh my god, I've got my next unpopular opinion. This one's for Stan Twitter.
Okay, so I love, you know, going through Twitter, seeing what's up, what's trendy.
What's hip with the kids? And, you know, when I end up scrolling, I sometimes end up on Stan Twitter, which if you don't know, it's basically like a section of Twitter, like more like a niche on Twitter with like these stans. And basically what Stan is like an extreme obsessive fan.
They can be a stand for like a music artist, a movie, a TV show.
Like it can be for anything. There is like a whole like music section on Stan Twitter and it's ridiculous. These like, you know, crazy fans will say the most mind-boggling things, seriously. Like someone will be like,
Oh my god, your favorite artist's new single featuring Nicki Minaj didn't go number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Go die.
like they're so mean about it, and like, you know, there's been this whole like, obsession now with like the way songs are charting. Like, you know, did your favorite singer's, you know, new single go number 1 or did it flop on the charts? Who cares? Like people will literally go crazy. They will stay up. I've literally watched them. They like keep their laptop open on Spotify looping the same song as they go to sleep, just so their favorite artist can get more streams. And look, I understand like you want your favorite artist to succeed. I completely get that. And you know, especially if it is like a smaller artist who maybe just had their first breakout on like a mainstream chart, you want to, you know, help them do the best they can. I completely get that. But like these are huge artists whose songs are gonna go number 1 regardless. I love Ariana Grande, but her song is gonna go number 1. Like you don't need to be staying up all night repeating the same song just so it does well. And look, I understand that, you know, most of the people doing this are, again, like literally 13-year-olds, but I feel like a lot of this is pushed by labels and it's a little bit not normal.
Okay, look, I don't think I made my unpopular opinion very clear here. What I'm trying to say is that, look, if you want to, you know, stan your favorite artists and do all that stuff, that's completely up to you. But I do think that a lot of this behavior is pushed by, you know, huge labels, and they're especially targeting young and impressionable fans, and that's really not okay because, you know, these people are millionaires and they're targeting literal kids, you know, to make them money in the most ridiculous ways possible.
Like if there is an artist, sorry, I'm fixing the camera, that's why I'm so close to the screen. Like if there really is an artist you love that much, just go, you know, in store, go buy it on CD, the album or whatever, and just appreciate the, you know, art for what it is. There's just no need to get into fights with random people on the internet because the song charted at number 7 and not number 1. Which actually, that leads me to my second unpopular opinion about like Stan Twitter. Charts don't even matter anymore. Look, back in the day, right, when, you know, you had to buy music in a store, you know, that's how they counted songs on like the, you know, music charts. People had to physically go out and buy it. Now everything is just streaming. You don't even need to, you know, spend any money on anything. And it's ridiculous because like a song can go like number 1 and be the biggest song in the country, but like, you know, because it's streaming, everybody can literally forget about it the next week and it like flops down the charts the week after. It makes no sense. Back in 2012 even, like this wasn't an issue because like you still have to buy the songs, right? I just love 2012, and if I can relate anything to 2012, it makes me happy. I don't know, I feel like you just, like whatever, just listen to the Dua Lipa song. Like, they're all still gonna be rich, so, you know, or maybe I just don't get it, you know, maybe Drake's new single has to go number 1, or else I'll get cancelled.
Alright guys,
I've probably talked about too much than I should. Seriously, again, these are all my opinions. Have you got your own unpopular opinions? Comment them down below. This is all the advice I need to give myself. Like, it actually is. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, go out and embarrass yourself.